Hello, welcome. It's another video. I'm talking about things today and procrastinating. Not really procrastinating. I just need something to do while I'm writing my new video. I'm gonna update on some of the items today on Aurelion Sol, mainly because the video, my most popular video on the channel is the Beginner's Guide to Aurelion Sol video. And if you want to watch that, and there's still really good information on the video. It'll be up here somewhere. You can go look at that, check that out. But today we're going to be talking about items and runes specifically because a lot has changed since I made that video, and I wanted to kind of, update that stuff. So yeah, that's going to be the whole thing. And yeah, we're just going to talk about items and runes today, and you get to see my beautiful face, and it's all fine. Yes. Okay, so runes. We're going to talk about electrocute and phase rush and why I use either one in different scenarios. So electrocute is very popular right now. It's like the main rune that everyone takes if you go to any sort of go to u.gg, op.g, anything, everyone takes electrocute, and that's perfectly fine. It's supposed to help you with early game damage because, early game damage is shitty. It gives you more access to things like Relentless Hunter or Ravenous Hunter if you're that kind of person, or Ingenious. I think that rune is underused, but overall it gives you more damage early on in the game. Doesn't scale super well late game, so if you want to go for more late game build, want to have a bit more fun in the early game, go for electrocute. Late game, I choose something else. Now, phase rush, personally my favorite rune. This is what I use most of the time because just the way that lanes are these days, I think phase rush is just more useful. Helps you with early game survival because it gives you a lot of movement speed in general. It gives you ways to run away and ignore slowing effects. That's just great, especially with all the assassin stuff in the mid lane and just non-mages. I definitely go with phase rush most of the time. You get more late game scaling runes like Gathering Storm. Also gives you more sustained and mana wise with Mana Flow Band. It just helps you overall with a lot of the problems that you have throughout the entire game, not just the early game. Also, it gives you water walking if you want to go with that. I sometimes go water walking if I know I'm going to be roaming a lot because your E is on a significantly long, it's on a pretty long cooldown. So if you want to be roaming around a lot, you're not going to be able to use it all the time. And if you have both teleport, if you take it, and your E down, you need to get around quickly. So water walking also gives you a little bit of AP in the river, so that's kind of nice for fighting for dragon, baron, and stuff. But yeah, electrocute for non-assassin-y weirdness in the mid lane, phase rush all the time. I'm not biased. What are you talking about? Secondary runes, you can still take Time War Tonic and things like that. Time War Tonic and cookies are usually the way I go because Corrupting Pot is strong. But aside from that, I have been experimenting a little bit with Resolve. Now, Resolve, you might be thinking, Alex, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Listen here. Bone plating is super good into bursty mid champions, like assassins mainly. Think about Fizz or Zed. They have like two or three abilities that kind of just take half your health away. Well, guess what? Bone plating is going to mitigate a lot of that damage, especially if you want to trade back and forth a lot more. It does have a long cooldown, but you can kind of play around that, play safely when it's down, kind of go for farm when it's up, things like that if you feel like you're not having a great time in the mid lane. Also, you get access to things like Demolish, and plate money is super cool. So Demolish helps you get those things, help you push better as a champion. Aurelion Sol is a pretty good pushing champion, so if you want to push even faster, take down towers faster, there you go, Demolish, super cool. Again, it's experimental. I'm playing around with it a little bit more, especially because, there's just more bursty assassins in the mid lane, and if Aurelion Sol's not a bursty champion early on, even with electrocute, you still get outdamaged by pretty much every assassin in the mid lane, so just, at least from my experience. So we're gonna talk about items. There are 3 items I'm gonna talk about: Everfrost, Liandry's, and Night Harvester. Now, I was not a Night Harvester lover for the longest time until I tried it out in a few games. Now I'm kind of there. Firstly, Everfrost is going to be more focused on a tankier build, more control focused build. I like it. It's like one of my favorite items to build on Aurelion Sol. It gives you the control, it gives you the immobilize, helps you get your combo off. You want to do a Q, then an Everfrost, then an ult, or if you want to do it different ways, you can do all those different ways you can get your combo off, as long as you're hitting your stars as much as possible. And it lets you lock down people for other things, especially against assassins that want to chase you down. If they're going to try to run at you, like, you're like, ha, bitch, freeze. Liandry's is going to be for tanky teams. I say around like 2 more tanks on the team. That's when you build Liandry's, because you just want to eat through their front line as much as possible, because you're going to turn into a DPS mage at that point. You're, instead of like kind of just a bursty champion who goes like Everfrost and Harvester, it's going to be your more DPS oriented build, because you're going to have like ability haste, a lot of damage DPS from Liandry's procs, and also from the like 12% bonus magic damage you get from it. You're going to focus, and especially if you build Demonic Embrace, you're going to have a lot more tank busting that way. I definitely, absolutely build defensive items items like Zonias or Banshees if there's like magic damage to make up for like the less tankiness that you get from Everfrost. I mean, Zonias in general is a good item to build these days, so build it. But if you're not building it, build it. You fool. What are you doing? Night Harvester. Like I said, I was not a big fan of Night Harvester. I really liked Everfrost. I really liked Landry's. I was like, oh man, Night Harvester, what is this bullshit? Well, it's not that. It's not bullshit. It gives you high damage with a little bit of mobility from like the movement speed it gives you. Is for bursting in a really short window. That's usually when a Harvester is for. Although, that being said, it is gonna focus more on like casting with the ability haste that you get. So you're gonna be bursting down and then trying to cast your W as much as possible to get DPS out. I usually don't run this into assassin mids because you rely so much on your stars to do damage. It does give you more tankiness than Everfrost, but it doesn't give you as much control as Everfrost. So you give up some of those things. So I usually run this into mages like Vigar, Lux, champions that don't have a whole lot of mobility. I can kind of keep hitting them with my W as best as I can. Or like low engage, like low threat, low engage mid lanes. So that's just my take on that. Like you can use it for whatever you want. You can build it all the time if you want, but that's generally my go-to is like Everfrost if I don't want to die, Landers if you want to eat through tanks, and Night Harvester if you just want to like blah all over the all over the opponent. For your other items, aside from your mythic, I would probably go Rylai's. Rylai's, whoa, what a concept. Rylai's is your main item, don't forget it, dummy. But always build Rylai's, it's your main item, don't forget it. Either first or second, either one, like mythic first, Rylai's, or Rylai's then mythic, like that's the way you can go. Demonic Brace, if you want tankiness, I usually build a lot these days is because I need some like extra DPS and also giving me some magic resistant armor generally because I'm a battle mage and Demonic Embrace is super good for battle mages a lot of the time. So your battle mage DPS, Riot, get your shit together. There's not really a whole lot to think about as far as like legendary options because there's basically only a few items that you generally build as a mage. So don't think about too much, don't think too hard about it. It's not really that difficult. But yeah, I just wanted to update the Aurelion Sol guide. Again, if you want to watch that, go look at that. Has all the other information. Ignore the item section for the most part, just so some good things. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for all the support that you show me. I love all the comments. Please do leave a comment down below. Tell me if you've been playing Aurelion Sol. Also, leave a like. It really does help out a huge amount. And if you are not subscribed, what are you doing? Huh? What have you done with your life? There are a lot of red buttons out there. Big ones, small ones, round ones, triangular ones. But you would dare not press the rectangular subscribe button down below, right there, next to the like button, which you should also hit. How dare you? How could you? I can't believe it. I can't believe I called you a friend. But yeah, you should do that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next week or this week. My schedule is getting real busy nowadays with the videos. There might be more. Who knows? Bye.